Hello, my dear student. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? Hope all of you are fine. By the grace of Almighty Allah, I am also fine. My dear, welcoming you to the new year. Happy New Year. Today, I am going to take your Bangladesh Global Studies class. I am Aminur Rahman, senior teacher, Milestone College Sector 4 branch. Today we will learn a very important and interesting topics. My dear, today is the lecture 7, chapter 3. Our topics of the day is cultural change and the development of Bangladesh. Before that, we have to know what is culture. What is culture? Then what is the cultural change? Then what is the cultural development? Types of culture, Bengali culture. We will know about that from today's class. Okay, what is culture? Culture, that means what we are, that is our culture. What we have, that is our culture. So what we are, that means our dress, our habit, our beliefs, our thought, our religion, our behaviors. That means combination of all our standard of living life, way of our life, the way we are living our life, that is our culture. You know, the way of living of us and other people, other nations are not same. That is cultural variation. You learn it from class 7. Okay, my dear, cultural change. Look at me, the dress, the way of talking. I am sharing my views with you. 100 years ago, Bengali people wouldn't habituated like this way. That means from 100 years back or 200 years back, our Bengali people, their dress code, their language, their behaviors, and presently our language behaviors, there are some changes. And this is cultural change. Got it? Okay. Next, then the cultural development. Cultural change. Is it clear to all of you, my boys and girls? What is cultural change? Culture is not static things, it changes. The nature of culture is change. Nature of culture is change. As like the living things, it changes regularly, changes day by day. It may change positive and negative, both way. If the culture is change, positive and expected way, desired way, that is called cultural development. Is it clear to all of you? Okay, I am repeat it again. Positive and expected change of culture is called cultural change. The next one, types of culture. Types of culture. It's also two types. It's material culture, abstract culture. At the beginning of the class, I told you my dress, my behaviors, my language, my things, my religion, that is our religion, our thinking, our behaviors, combination of all, that is called culture. You think it is something of us that we have. Something are materials, some things are abstract. So look, absolutely the dress, the buildings, the house where you are living, the furniture that we are using, that is the material element of our culture. And the things that we can't touch, we can't see, but we can feel, that is the material, that is the abstract part of our culture. Okay, Bengali culture. The Bengali culture, that means the culture we, the Bengali nation, we have. We are practicing, we have the furnitures, dress, beliefs, thought, religion, behaviors, manners of Bengali people. The festivals of Bengali people, the dress code of Bengali people, the food habit of Bengali people, that we are the Bangladeshi people we are practicing, that is Bengali culture. The culture, the situation we are in now. I told you again, 200 years, 300 years or 1000 years ago, Bengali people is not the new nation. Maybe it has been created near about 3000 years ago, 2500 or 3000 years ago. That time the Bengali people's culture and present our culture is not same. It's a lot of changes. So let's see in lesson 1, cultural change and the development idea of Bangladesh. Lesson 1, what is our topic? Cultural change and the development idea of Bangladesh. Culture. And told you again, what is culture? Beginning of the class I told you. Can you tell anyone? Okay, the way of our leading life, it's our culture. The form of culture, that means the culture we are practicing, or we have the culture, we have the dress or the language or beliefs. It's not same all over. In everywhere it's not same. You will find out some variety in various places and time. That means cultural change has been taken. Cultural variety you will find out place to place, time to time. Okay? My dear, our culture is not static in a place. Our culture is changing. Look, Bangladesh is an agriculture based country. Bangladesh is a riverine country. Once upon a time, we were fully dependent on agriculture. That time, our farmers used agricultural tools, handmade agricultural tools. They depend on nature. Because of the technological development, nowadays our farmer using scientific tools and methods in agriculture. Instead of wood-made plow, we are using tractor now. Instead of depending nature for rain irrigation, we are using pump now. Look, there is a lot of changes. And the most important thing, that time the standard living of life of the Bengali people and now our life standard, is it same? A lot of variety you will find out. That is the cultural variety. That is the cultural changes. And I told you again, if the change is in positive way, that is called cultural development. My dear, cultural development. Generally development means we know what? Economical development, financial development. Normally people call development means, we thought that, or we take it development means the financial development. Actually development means, according to the sociologist, development means development of society, development of social system. If the social system is developed, then all other development, financial development, or all other development will that means social development bring about the all other development. My dear, now let's go to the lesson 2. Okay, my dear, let's start lesson 2. Lesson 2, then social change and the characteristics of the development. In lesson 1, we have learned about the cultural change and development. I hope you are all clear about the cultural change. Cultural change, I am telling you again, positive and expected change of the culture is called cultural change. Okay, now let's see about the characteristics of cultural change and development. First of all, to improve the living standard, how can we identify or define that the cultural development occurred? My dear, look to a surrounding of us in 200 or 100 years before. The life standard of our forefather, life standard of our ancient Bengali people, and the life standard of us, is it same? No, obviously it's not same. Here our living standard has been improved a lot in communication system, in our food and culture, dress, food, living standard, houses, accommodation, and every angle we have improved. We have improved. Not just 50 years back, how many multi-storied buildings were there in Dhaka city where we are living now? Very few. But at present, the picture is clear to all of you. That means our living standard improved. Okay, next one, abstract and material cultural change. My dear, material cultural change, that means the element of material culture change so faster than the abstract element. Look, you can change your dress, you can change your houses, furnitures very soon, within very short time you can change, but we can't adjust with this new environment very soon. We can change our habit overnight. We can change our manners overnight. We can change our way of talking or the language or beliefs or thought. We can change overnight. But overnight we can change our furnitures, our houses. That is, material element may change fast. That is another example of the development of cultural development. Third one is fulfilling the basic need. My dear, another characteristics of cultural change is fulfilling the basic need. That means to fulfill the basic need, cultural change occurred. And in positive sense, if it is the change is expected way or positive change had been done, then the first condition of that change is to fulfill the basic need. Without fulfilling the basic need, expected or desired change of culture cannot be happened. Okay, the next one is cultural change may be upward and downward. My dear, you were given a knife to use. That means if somebody give me a knife to use, I can cut it. I can use the knife to cut the apple, and somebody may use the knife to cut the finger. That means it's upon you. It is we who will take the decision to use. But if we think in positive way, we won't use the knife in a wrong way. Sometimes some people use it in wrong way. That means unexpectedly some changes may be occurred in our culture. That time it is called the downward. And suppose that because of the development of the communication system, internet, welfare of internet or YouTube, now we are seeing a various cultural program from different countries at home. Look, some example on European culture, taking wine is just normal things. It's a part of their culture. But in our culture, it's totally prohibited. In our religion, it's totally forbidden. It's haram. So if we take it their culture, then it will be the downward. Somebody of us are taking this way. Their culture, taking their dress code, taking their food habit, taking their way of talking. That is the cultural downward. Upward means the positive and expected change of culture. That means we may see their culture, we may observe their culture, but we won't getting their culture. Our culture, we are practicing our culture rather than taking something from their culture. That is the downward, that is the upward of cultural change. My dear, cultural change takes place with a time limit. In a place, particular place, it's in from time to time it has been changes. Suppose that we may compare new Stone Age and old Stone Age. Old Stone Age and new Stone Age in the using weapon or the living standard, house, accommodation, dress, a lot of things you will find out, a lot of changes there in between the old Stone Age and new Stone Age. Old Stone Age, new Stone Age very far from us. Just we think, my dear student, think now we in digital Bangladesh, our living standard, and when we were the colony of British, that time our living standard. Another example, when we were the part of Pakistan, that time our living standard, and now our living standard, you will find out so far difference. So far difference. Ask your grandparents what they were used to do, what kind of food, dress, beliefs, play game, what they were used to do at that time when they were your age. Ask your grandparents how you were passing your time at your age, what they were to do. You will find out a lot of difference. So hope you will ask your grandparents about their childhood, and you will make a comparison to your childhood. They were playing field, playing different kinds of game in over sky or in open field. But now in the city areas, it's very rare case, and they are taking the food and our food, their food habit and our food habit. Also, you will find out some dissimilarities. That is, my dear, the cultural change has been take place in time, and different it's time to time and different is place to place. It's verify. Okay, my dear. Now let's go to lesson 3. Lesson 3, different elements of cultural change and development. Different elements of cultural change and development. Cultural change has been occurred because of what? How? Now we will know. Span of culture, that means it's a mixture of culture, my dear, because of the globalization, because of the ICT technological development, communicational development, this span of culture had been occurred. The span of culture, that means the mixture of culture, two culture close together. How long it will be? Then one culture will take the elements of other culture. Especially in that case, poor culture will take many things from the rich culture. There's the mixture of culture, my dear. Then the culturalization. Culturalization is a receiving the elements from other culture. We, the Bengali people, were the colony of British for near about 200 years. In that time, many English word, you will find out many English word, many similarities with the English culture, English language. Many English word came to our language directly because of that. That is the culturalization. My dear, the cultural absorption, absorb the other culture, that is the cultural absorption. Look, because of higher education, immigration, new settlement, marital status. For any reason, when we migrate one place to another place, we have to adjust with the new environment, new food, new situation, new environment, and that time this cultural absorption taken place. Suppose that you will go to the Europe, America or England for higher education, and at that time maybe you are going to Europe for 10 years or 5 years, 7 years for higher education. That time you have to adjust the other new environment, new food. With that environment, food, then the environment, even geographical environment also you have to adjust with the situation. That is cultural absorption. And another very common things, my dear, in our country, the girls, my dear student, in future of the girls will got married and they will send to their father-in-law house, mother-in-law house, or the new environment you have to settle. That time you have to absorb the culture of that family, new family. That is the cultural absorption. Is it clear? Okay, next one is cultural idols. Cultural idols, that means in every culture there is some personal or own personalities, own cultural function, own culture, own religion, own manners, own beliefs, own customs. That is their ideals. That may take the other, they take other elements of culture from other culture, but not avoiding their own one or personal one. That is the ideal of culture. But the next one is technology and the cultural development. That is the global village. That is because of the development of the communication system, internet, YouTube. We can see the everything what happened around the world. We can see all other cultural function, all other cultures by sitting in the corner of our room. By the way, the whole world became a global village nowadays. Because of that, our culture may reach to the another culture, and we may get the many things from the other culture. In that case also, poor culture receive the more things from the other culture, from the rich culture. Now let's see some picture of cultural change. Look, the picture of ancient Bengali culture and the picture of the present Bengali culture. What can you see between this difference between the two pictures? Yes, a lot of difference. Dress code, food habit, communication system, in all angles, a lot of changes. That is called cultural change. My dear, hope you enjoyed the class. We learned many things from lesson 1, 2 and 3. So now let me know what did you get from the class. So please do classwork 7, lesson 1, 2 and 3. So answer to the following question. What is culture? So what is culture? Yes, culture is our way of life. Question number 2. What is cultural change? Question number 2. What is cultural change? Yes, it is changing the way of our life. Changing the way of our life. Okay, question number 3. What do you mean by cultural development? Can you tell? Yes, positive and expected change of culture. Positive and expected change of culture. Question number 4. What is called Bengali culture? Yes, the lifestyle of the Bengali people is called Bengali culture. Question number 5. What is the element of abstract culture? Can you tell? Yes, it is knowledge, skill, music, behaviors, etc. Question number 6. What is the element of material culture? Can you tell? Yes, it's a house, dress, food, furnitures, etc. Question number 7. Which culture changed so fast? Can you tell? It's a material culture. Question number 8. What is called cultural absorption? Can you tell? To absorb or to adjust with the new cultural environment. Question number 8. What is called the negative change of culture? Who can tell? Anyone? Yes, it's cultural destruction. Then question number 10. What is called the positive change of culture? My dear, many times I told you this answer. Who can tell? Yes, it's a cultural development. Thank you. Okay, now it's time to take your homework. It's homework 4. 3 questions I will give you, 3 application based question. You will complete the writing of the 3 answer of the 3 question. Then you will send the picture to me or your subject teachers. Okay, question number 1. Question number 1. What do you mean by cultural development? Question number 1. What do you mean by cultural development? Question number 2. What do you mean by culturalization? Question number 3. Explain any 2 characteristics of the cultural development. Okay, my dear, this 3 question, you will write down the answer of this 3 question and then take a clear picture of your answer script and send me or your subject teacher. And if you have any problem on this lecture, my dear, feel free to ask me or your subject teacher. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.